Welcome back to Thorough Customs and character reviews or figure reviews in the 3.75 scale or 1 1/18 scale. This here is Cyclops from the Epic Hero series, and what we're going to do is we're going to do unboxing and take a look, first impressions outside of the box, and look at his articulation, his size, and comparison with the scale and the size. And then we're going to compare him to some of the Marvel Universe figures, especially Cyclops, of course. See how he scales up to them. And lastly, we're just going to have some overall thoughts, and then we'll have some poses. All right, so let's go and get to it. First thing you're going to notice here, the box. You see it's open, and there is no plastic. That's intentional. I think there's a lot of pride in not being users of plastic with the Epic Hero series, and in fact, all the legends and all of them, they have little to no plastic packaging these days. So, in continuation of that, no film here. You see them in the front, see the team, see the at the top, XMEN 97 side. There is profile of the character. The back, here you have him with his effect, his optic effect, and of course all your attention and choking hazards, all that good stuff. And then the other side panel is the team. Again, right now that we know of, we have Cyclops here, we have a Wolverine, we're going to have a Gambit, we have a Rogue, we have a Storm. We do not know about Jubilee, my main man Beast, Bishop, or Morph. So that's upcoming, hopefully. So there's the front again. I can take a look at his sculpt. Oh, here we go. In the box. And I will tell you, I do appreciate this head sculpt. Kind of like the Wolverine, I probably do a head swap. So let's go ahead and get unboxing. All right, here we go. There's two plastics right here, or I should say stickers. Go over the seams, and you can just open like that. I actually tore right there. Open it up, and you can pull him out just like so. There he is. Ooh, it looks like I have a demented leg there. Oh no. Well, we'll see what happens. And of course, you have some writing, choking hazard type of stuff on the box. Put to the side. And here's, again, you do not want to throw away the tissue. A lot of people who have bought Marvel Legends or anything like this before will know that. So yeah, there's the effect. Son got hurt, so now he's good, hopefully. A little bit whiny, but you know how it is. But yeah, here's the optic blast effect. Again, don't throw away that paper tissue. And next shot will be undoing him, unhinging him up. And there he is. These are all plastic little ties. Just cut them off or tear them off if you feel pleased. I was kind of worried about the legs, but they actually don't look too bad. I thought they were a little distorted, but they aren't as bad as I thought they were. You can see they're a little straighter than what it looked like in the box. In fact, you might be able to hold a wider stance because of them being just a little bit cocked, if you will, right there at the shin area. Yep, that would probably help if I kept the lights on, huh? Initial thoughts from the box. Of course, man, I'm digging that head sculpt right there. You can see it looks really good. Nice detail on the hair, and the visor, the nose, the chin area. Also, if you are a fan of the series or a fan of the X-Men, you'll also notice immediately the trousers are not yellow like they should be, and that's an unfortunate mistake on Epic's Epic's line here. I'm not sure if that's how the comics or the show is going to be in X-Men 97, but if they want to stay true to the show, and the show still has the lineup with the trousers being yellow, then they have missed the mark there. But on the side, or on the side paws, I mean, doesn't look bad without the yellow trousers. Some could even argue that it looks better without. I'm kind of a fan of the yellow trousers just because it keeps it consistent. But at the same time, they're just basically, underwear over blue. So I guess it looks better with blue. It looks like, you have your blue pants going into the belt, up into the waist, your whole body armor suit, or whatever the X-Men wear. So it can't say yay or nay just based off the yellow trousers. Let's take a look at articulation real quick. Make sure I'm zoomed out here. First thing you'll notice, true to the Epic series, they have just a basic ball joint here. A little bit of upward motion on the head. Just a little bit, not much. It's a ball joint, or actually just a peg, I should say. Ball joints more swivel, will have more swivel. In fact, maybe it might look better with them a little bit higher. Look, cock it a little bit higher, and you can look up and down, and you'll get some height there. What do you know? All right, we'll talk about that later. Arms, both of them go out about here. Okay. Both 360, unlike the Wolverine I looked at earlier. He is not impeded by any type of shoulder gear. Swivel, 360 again. Elbow joint goes about there, and does hyperextend like Wolverine, and rotates side to side just like so. Same thing with this side. I've found about the same articulation there, same, almost 90 degrees. I won't say give it quite 90, but it's pretty close. Again, hyperextended and swivels. No wrist articulation. This one looks like it could have. Just look at that. I mean, it's so close to looking like it does, but it doesn't. Legs. Again, it's great to have pegs with socket. There they are, and look at these pegs. I didn't show that in Wolverine, but these pegs are, man, they're gonna grip your plastic, your legs. Anyway, it's good to have leg socket, peg sockets and legs. It does lits, almost Van Damme. Goes out this much, back that much, knee articulation is that much and that much. Of course, they're on and they both hyperextend. It's not good just as far as reality, unless you're going to be injured. But they do both swivel just as such, and they go 360. Obviously, you're not going to bend your legs that way, but I'm just looking at some like a little bit of rub already. I don't know if you guys see that or not. Alright, this one too, 360, and then knee bending on the Cyclops, not too impressive. And again, no ankle articulation. Okay, so there he is. Let's see if we can stand him up now. Well, there we are. Nice, so articulation definitely in line with what the Epic series is doing. Very basic. He stands at about exactly 4 inches with his hair up. So he's at 4 inches. So if we get this, there we go. He is exactly 4 inches. The camera angle doesn't really show it, but with his hair, he's right at 4 inches. Maybe just a little bit under. Maybe a hair under 4 inches, which is fine. If you measure him up to scale, and I've mentioned before that I have the Cyclops buck as my scale setter for my collection, and he's supposed to be 6'3", which means he should be at 4.25 inches. If we look at that within the scale, and I made my little measurement here, he is only going to be at 4 inches, about 5 foot 10 inches. If this is the scale, and let me see if I can stand him up a little bit straighter, so that way maybe we get the most out of his height here. All right, so hey, buddy. My son feels better, by the way. So yeah, he's at 4 inches, 5 foot 10, and so he's missing 5 inches off of his height just from the scale at 4 inches. If you give him that sliver of hair above or under 4 inches, and he does stand right under 4 inches, not quite 4 inches. So yeah, that's his size there. What we want to do also real quick is do a comparison. Obviously, we already know that Cyclops, the buck, is at 4 inches and a quarter, 4 1/4 inches. So he's going to stand, he's going to stand a head over this figure. And so if you look at them side to side, and you can see the difference right off the bat. Let me see if I can rotate you just a little bit. I'm in my spray booth when I shoot these videos, so it's a little bit of a mismatch there. Let's see if we can get this. Alright, here we go. So he stands well short of the buck that I use for my collection to set, to scale my collection. Hopefully your battery stays alive. Come on, baby. There we go. Alright, let's take a look at another Cyclops. Compare him to another one. Alright, and again, this one's going to be 4.25, 4 1/4. So he's going to scale above him. So let's put him side head to head or side back to back. There we go. I'm going to scoot him over just to the right here so he's more centered. Alright, you can see he's got that 1/4 inch above him. So he's definitely going to be shorter than he should be on the 1/18 scale. But if we add some articulation, we might be able to actually get some height on him if we wanted to. If you wanted to, that's what I kind of plan to do, or I might just give him a straight up head swap. We'll see. One more to compare. How about that? This comes from, I believe, the Wolverine line, Origins, I believe, and this one actually scales very similarly to our current figure in the Epic series, which says a lot about the Origins figures, or at least Cyclops. Still a little bit taller, actually. Still a little bit taller, just a little bit. When I'm looking at it, look at the shoulders. I mean, the shoulder height there is a lot different. The only thing maybe that the Epic series here has on this figure is that the Origin Cyclops here has ball joints at the hips, which is, kind of the ammo for the time. So ball joints right there. But it's basically the same articulation too. I mean, you got the shoulder swivel pivot. You have the pin pivot there. No wrist articulation. Knee. Well, this one has double knees, which is a positive for this series. And again, no ankle articulation, which also is a flaw that even Gambit had in that series, in this lineup, the Origins, XMEN Origins. So there's those three comparisons. So he will fit-ish if you so desire, so choose. What I want to do real quick is see if we can head swap. See what the head swap looks like. Man, let's see what these. Come on. I'm gonna have to warm this one up just a little bit before I take him off. You know what? Hold on one second. I'll compare them one more here. I'm gonna push you pause. I've showed this one before. This is that same buck. This is that figure, just repainted and with a different head. I did make it so the heads are easier to take off, so that's what I want to do with this head swap. See if the pegs are the same. They look about the same. A little bit smaller on the Marvel Universe. So he's gonna fit a little bit loose here. But look, I mean, it goes, doesn't it? It does go. All you need to do is add some material there in the neck or in the head, and he'll fit. I mean, this sculpt will fit. And if you compare it with this sculpt, I mean, this sculpt is great too. Oh, you don't know what sculpt I'm talking about. This sculpt is pretty good too. I mean, this fits a good Cyclops. You know, he's got the hair details there. He does have. I mean, this body has that nice head swivel, which gives the Marvel Universe so much more articulation than the Epic or the Origins Wolverine does. But I mean, if I put this color on this head on that blue one, I think it'll fit. I might have to do a little bit of wash, but it fits. Don't you think? I think it will work. We'll see. So there's the one thing I would take from this is, hey, well, if nothing at all, at least a head, right? If nothing at all, at least a head, a new head. And yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with my Cyclops. Any of my Cyclops have trouble standing all of them. So articulations talked about. We talked about the height, the scale comparison, and then also the Marvel Universe comparison with 3 other Cyclopses, 2 of them with the same buck, and 1 of them from the X-Men Origins. What I want to go ahead and talk about now is just overall thoughts. I enjoy the Marvel Epic Series Marvel figures. Before we get into overall thoughts, let me just say what I would do with articulation. Same thing I would do with the Wolverine. Same thing I would do with any of the Guardians of the Galaxies. I haven't done it yet, but they are in the queue. I just got a lot of other things I want to do before I get to them. But first things first, of course, looking at him, I would add some ankle articulation right here. Boom. I might do a double double knee joint. I don't know if it's necessary, but I mean it does not bend that much. It's 90 degrees. It's not great, but the articulation there, I'd put a ball joint there so that you'd have the rotation plus the swivel or the up and down movement. I'd probably also do a thigh cut, and for this one I would actually hide the thigh cut right there at the strap. I think that would be a great place for it. Just kind of like if you place these straps just right there, it kind of hides that thigh cut in the Marvel Universe Cyclops. Next thing I would try to do is I'd give him a waist articulation, at least a swivel. I wouldn't give him the ab crunch like the rest of these guys have. All these figures have the ab crunch go up and down. As nice as that is, I don't think it's necessary. Plus, it'd be a lot more work to actually do that on a figure like this. So a ab twist or a swivel would suffice, I think. Next thing I'd do, I would contemplate giving him a bicep swivel, some type of bicep movement. But for sure, I'd hit up his hands and give him some give him some of that wrist articulation, and maybe even give him a articulated wrist, just because, you know, it's nice to have. Speaking of, man, I almost forgot about this. We got the optic blast, and it does not. It's kind of tight, but yo, there it is. Cyclops got a nice little blast effect there on for his face, for his eyes. That's nice. It's better than the Wolverine one, that's for sure. It actually fits his character. Let's see if it fits on Marvel Universe heads. It is tight, I'll say that, on both heads, whether Marvel Universe or the Epic series. But it does go on Marvel Universe as well. Check that out. So 2 things you can get from this is, you know, you get a nice effect, you know, and you get a nice head. And it'll fit these other ones as well. So overall thoughts, though, I appreciate the Epic series, and for the fact of, hey, I love the X-Men. I was not a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy before the movie started coming out, but once the movie started coming out, I saw what they're like, saw how witty they were. I enjoy them, and if Epic's going to be part of that process and helping others learn to enjoy, you know, more, that's great, you know. Sorry for all the movement here. The camera just kind of torqued out on me. I do think that they are lacking in articulation, but at the same time, they are better than just the 5 points articulation that we used to get in the, you know, back in the day, where it was just, you know, up and down and maybe a knee joint, and then the up and down arms, and just a straight back and forth head, and it wasn't straight back and forth. It was just a swivel. That's it. At least this one, you have the option to take out the head and make it more articulated. So yeah, I enjoy it. I do think it's very short compared to the Marvel Universe, which is the standard that I'm using for my collection, my son's collection. So for my son and my collection, I say my son and me, but you know what that means. You know, he's short, so if I add this ankle articulation right here, hopefully that would get him, you know, to the place where he needs to be as far as height. So I have a 1/4 of an inch to build into him. I think I can do that with that articulation there at the ankle. I think I might be able to do that with the articulation at the knee and the thigh swivel, so I'd build up a little bit. And I might be able to add some, maybe give him some more definition in his abdomen there, if I, you know, give him that rotation. So, you know, and with the neck, with the head, I mean, if we put it up high, like not all the way down, that's all the way down, put it kind of like right there. I don't know if it gives him, I don't know. Right about, I'm at right there. I don't know if that makes him look funny. Let me take a look at the camera and see. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I mean, he's not all the way down, right? But I think even just doing that gives him about an 1/8 of an inch, maybe. Probably not, but probably like a 1/16 of an inch. Which, I mean, 1/16 here, yeah, 1/16 of an inch, maybe a little bit more. So that gives him a 1/16 of an inch just by pulling his head up just a little bit, and that's an easy modification. Plus, you know, you'll be able to get some more swivel off his head, you know, versus pushing him all the way down like it is right now. So, you know, just a little bit of modification gives him a 1/16 of an inch, right? Give him another 1/16 of an inch on his ankles, another 1/16 of an inch there at his you know, the thighs there at the thigh cut, and you're at almost, that's 3/16 of an inch added, and that's almost at 4 1/4. Give him another 16th at his abs, and you got a 6'3" Cyclops in the 1/18 scale. One thing I do appreciate though, and I know I loved this with the Marvel Universe, you know, the soft goods there on the Cyclops here. But man, I just wish it was a little bit more stable. And what they did here with this series, or with this Cyclops, is they sculpted that in. You know, and that's pretty dang good. I like the idea they did that with the superhero showdown figures, and I actually really dug that move that they did with the superhero show. They sculpted the, touched my pen and it got disconnected, or actually stopped recording. So yeah, they sculpted the straps there in the superhero showdown. In fact, let me go ahead and grab one real quick. So here's a superhero showdown for you. Now, as much as I love superhero showdown, and I love me some superhero showdown figures, I think they failed on Cyclops and on Captain America. But as you can see, I was talking about earlier, take a look. See if I can get you zoomed in. There we go. Take a look. I mean, they sculpted this stuff in. And this sculpt here and this on Superhero Showdown, I mean, this is great sculpt work right there. The only thing they didn't do was actually make it so he articulates. You know, this should be a rocker, you know, but it's not rocking. It doesn't rock. It's kind of poor sculpting, poor engineering as far as the sculpt is concerned. But they also sculpted the belts, and I thought that was a good idea. I'm not gonna say I don't like the Marvel Universe, you know, plastic goods, but you know, that sculpt right there, not as detailed as this sculpt. I mean, just take a look at these sculpts right there. I mean, you can see, you know, this sculpt has a lot more strapping. Has the in this, both of them I guess have the X kind of inward, but I mean, you can see the details in the pouches there, and pouch there, and that pouch there. This one, you don't even have pouches on the Epic Hero series, but you do have this little whatever that is, and little bit of a difference of variety in the belt there. And there we go. There's some strapping there at the back. Little ring, I guess. Little pouch type thing, or adjustable strap part. But man, this one just better sculpt, just in general, as far as the straps is concerned. Poor sculpt as far as being able to functionally use the articulation it's designed to have. So you have to do some modification on that guy on Superhero Showdown in order to actually get that articulation, and I've done that with another Cyclops in the collection. That was just this is just an extra one we got. But overall, this Cyclops, again, can't go wrong with the head. Can't go wrong with the fact that it's a 3 3/4 inch scale figure, and for that I appreciate it. Again, whether or not I actually go through the modifications, I'm not sure. There would be a lot of work, and I think we already have a really good Cyclops in the Marvel Universe series. And if I were to put in any work, it would be on this guy right here, because he's just better sculpted as far as, you know, the details. You can add that sculpt here on this guy, and he'd be perfectly fine. But I do appreciate the head sculpt for sure. The effect, which this one actually came with effect, and it actually went into the Wolverine one went into his eye, and I thought that was pretty cool. But it's just not the right size, and the posability is just horrible. So we don't even use that guy. But this effect here is really good, and it goes on both and all these figures. Let's see if it goes on the Superhero Showdown. Hold on 1 second. Let's give it a whirl. There we go. Boom. We got the Cyclops effect on Superhero Showdown, which is pretty cool. I mean, for nothing else, the head is worth it. The laser, the eye optic effect is worth it. And if you're really into and wanting to fill in another Cyclops with this uniform, I mean, there's some modifications you can do, or you keep it as is. It's just going to be really short compared to some other figures. I mean, look at him with the. This is the first edition of Wolverine, our first appearance Wolverine with the head swap and missing arm, a missing hand, I should say. He's not much taller than him, and he should be at least a foot above him, you know. So I mean, you got to consider that. Personally, I think I'd want him higher, taller, but I want this head sculpt, you know, and I want the laser effect, so I'm probably gonna keep him round. And so because of that, by extension, I'll probably end up giving him some more articulation. So for that, you know, I appreciate the Epic series giving us another option for Cyclops, and hopefully, you know, helping X-Men 97 be successful, even more successful than it will be. So that's my final thoughts. I would like more articulation. Obviously, it's not intended to be an articulated figure. It's not intended to be a Marvel Universe figure. But man, they did a really good job on the head sculpt and on the effect for Cyclops for sure. Better than the effect for Wolverine, which was that slashing, pink slashing, which, like I said before, is probably going to become a Gambit effect. So my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Comments, link to subscribe, or like to subscribe, like or subscribe. How about that? And hopefully we'll catch you on the next one.